I didn't catch a single fish here on my flies. It was all on Ian's flies. And Ian also was fishing this pattern in these flies, which is actually pretty cool, because if we're both fishing the same fly, then it means that our setup, maybe to an extent technique, as well as angles of presentation and what we target and how we target it, will be the true deciders of, who's better or who wins, who catches more fish. This was a very interesting day. It's not every day that you see the hatchery guys in their boat hitting the meat hole and clearing out fish for the hatchery. If you notice in front of me, all the kind of blackness that you see, that's all fish. And they're gonna net them, or net a bunch of them. And a little bit of a backstory for what happened is, we're doing this 4th edition of our competition between Ian and me, and we're looking for a place to fish, and then we find out that in this hole the hatchery guys are gonna do what they're doing, and you can see a bunch of guys below this hole and above this hole and in the other holes in the area, and nobody in this big hole because of these hatchery guys, right? But I mean, even now you noticed how they kind of took the tail out of this and left a bunch of the fish to the right where I'm fishing, and where Ian is fishing, who is at the top of the run. All those fish were bothered, but not as much. So anyhow, as soon as we saw this, and that there's nobody fishing because they're getting out of the way of these guys, we decided to take the opportunity and actually set up here, because this is the meat hole by far. See, here's on a fish. By far the biggest hole with the most fish. Boom. I'm on a fish, doubleheader. And no, it just made sense for us to stay. It all pointed to it, and give it a try. And see, these guys just came through with the net, kind of spooked the fish around, and actually triggered some bites from these fish. Sometimes it actually does work when they get too stale, and when you actually spook them around and they reset a little bit. Even a couple of times, a few of them will get aggressive. And this doesn't always work, but in some cases it does. And it does often if you fish for them for a while and they're so stale and you can kind of see them not moving and whatever. It's not a bad idea to spook them up a little bit, rile them up, and get some reaction bites. So, pretty interesting, pretty kind of cool to see and to take advantage of. As you can see, it worked out. I've muted the video for this introduction, and I'm gonna rewind back, just saying that the fish that I got was on the mouth and the fish that Ian got was snagged. So it's 1 point for me, minus 5 points for him. No, joking, but the reality is that I also snagged a couple and then changed up my fly. Lost a bunch. I felt I lost a bunch because of my fly being, look at that fly. I had to change that too. And I switched up to this actually fly later on, after so many misses. The one that I'm casting right now, after so many misses, I tied my flies last minute before in my car, before we got up here, and I had my hooks were too small, and I was like, ah man, is it gonna work? And it felt like it didn't work. It felt like I was getting so many bites actually, but I couldn't hook into any of them. Not even for a minute. And then I borrowed a fly from Ian. So these are Ian's flies. They are a different, I wouldn't say pattern, but a little bit of a color. But the hooks were, way superior than mine and the right size. So basically, I didn't catch a single fish here on my flies. It was all on Ian's flies. And Ian also was fishing this pattern in these flies, which is actually pretty cool, because if we're both fishing the same fly, then it means that our setup, maybe to an extent technique, as well as angles of presentation and what we target and how we target it, will be the true deciders of, who's better or who wins, who catches more fish. And I think this is exactly what happened. If you notice where Ian is, he's cutting across the school. The school is facing upriver most of the times. Even though we will get to some exceptions, which also happened here, and you'll see me changing positions because there was a school or part of the school that was facing actually downriver, which is kind of crazy, but it does happen at lower water, and in these big pools they can switch positions and stack in facing different ways, but whichever way the fish stacks, you want to go behind it and cast towards its head and retrieve back towards you. I mention this always, like this is basically what I always mention. So there I am snagging a fish. But what was I trying to say? Yes, I was trying to say that, here I am right next to him. And these fish, now I'm cutting across the school, right? It's not like, my presentation is coming sideways. And even though it's thick with them in front of us, and they shouldn't make a huge difference, but I think it did in the end. I barely fished like this. Ian was the one mostly fishing like this. I will have to say that if this is a condition at which it maybe makes the least difference, because again, there's so many of them and they're stacked weirdly at times, but most of them were facing upriver. So anyhow, the place I was at earlier, that angle, was the ideal one. And this is part of the reason why I caught so 3 fish in total over there. I don't remember if Ian got, I think he got a half a point. Or was it a point? So it's like a 3-1 or 3 to half a point. And now I moved here because I saw that, crazily enough, there's a few fish at the side of where I was right there that were facing downriver. And not even a few. There's a bunch of the stack at the top of the pool here were facing downwards, which is crazy because where I was at, they're at the tail out, they were facing upstream like they usually would. So I made a bunch of casts in here, but what happened is that, I don't want to borrow too many flies from you, and I just kept using the ones that I tied with the small hook. I did feel like my color was better than what Jens's was, and but even though his flies are the ones that caught me the fish, so they also work very good. I gotta definitely admit that. And I will actually use those flies also as an alternative to mine. Um, but I feel for sure my color and my fly is superior. Even on this day, I just lost so many fish. It was crazy. I kept setting the hook on nothing. Like I missed 15 or something. Um, yeah, that's how I felt. Um, but you can see me fish here a little bit. Curious thing is, at one point Ian changed up to a because his sink tip was really fast sinking, like so he felt like he was hitting bottom, because he was hitting bottom, right? And he was snagging on the bottom. So then he played with his fly and he made it lighter, and this is when he got one of his fish. So yeah, then the score, I think it was 3-1. And then he kept fishing that way, which, yes, whatever it is that you do, when you find that retrieve that would keep your fly down where the fish are for the most part of the retrieve, this is what you're aiming for. You can do it in more than one ways. So that's how you gotta fish. And me, the whole time I was just using a full sink line. I think mine was type 6 and his sink tip was a type 8. I actually would prefer a type 8 full sink, but even I think he noted this, and I thought I could be a type 8, but I was pretty sure I was type 6. So yeah, that's 6 inch per second sink rate as opposed to 8 inch per second. There's a big difference actually at how fast your sink line goes down. But like I said, you could work this in any, whatever you do, as long as you're at the strike zone for the most time, you're good. I do have to say that I still believe, and especially in this big pool, that I'm way more advantaged to fish in a full sink, because I'm just down there the whole time, and I can catch fish right in front of me too, because my fly is down for the longest time, down where it needs to be. This, I believe, was the longest of our sessions so far, probably 3 or 4 hours. I think from about 11 or noon to 5, 6 o'clock. None of us caught more fish, so it ended 3-1. Then, I think maybe it's possible, now I'm forgetting. It's possible that Ian caught another one, but I'm not sure. I don't think so. I don't think it's on video, but it could have been. In any case, I did win this one. It was either 3-1 or 3-2, maybe. Then I float fished for a little bit, and then we decided, let's do a jigging challenge. So the score for our fly fishing challenges so far between me and Ian is he took the first two by a large margin, 0 to 4, both times kind of deal. I took the third one by half a point margin, but still pretty comfortable, way more a catch and actually fish type vibe. Didn't feel too stressed out that I'm gonna lose. And this one, the final one, was the same. The margins of loss were smaller, so he crushed me technically much more. And you could say that my wins could have gone either way, and technically they could have. But I mean, technically, those losses of 4 fish could have gone another way. I mean, he caught him within I don't know, man, really quick, in 20 minutes, 20 to 40 minutes, he was on 4 fish. Sometimes just like that, it all turns around. But in any case, no excuses, whatever. We decided, let's do a. So now we're tied, right? We're tied. 2 wins for him, 2 wins for me. And we decided let's do a little bonus jigging competition. So let's check that out. And there, Ian's had a few casts. This is my first cast on the jig. Boom, dropped hard. I decided to leave it go all the way down and then start with my gentle pickup. That I know that on the drop I hit a fish basically on my first cast. I was casting from this angle because like I was saying, these fish right in the current were facing downriver. It was crazy to see. So this to me was I lost it. But this to me was the best angle. So half a point to me. And the reality is that after this, we both snagged a bunch of fish, but no biters. And fish until sundown. And I am the winner of the jigging competition, which probably fished for half an hour, 45 minutes on the jigs. So I'll take that as a win. Total score: fly fishing out of 4 matches, we're tied. And jig fishing, it's 1 to the good. So we finished the coho season with me still kind of leading. So technically, I have turned it around. Technically, I have turned it around from 2 fat losses. I don't want to say I'm the best, but the reality is, first off, thank you guys for watching. And really thank you because, you're probably going to learn something. You're going to learn a lot if you watch this. It's mildly entertaining. But what I really want to do is have everybody that's competing have cameras, and so it can be somehow more interactive too, and you can hear us talking to each other from one camera to the other and the microphones and whatever, because this is really one-sided like this. So me and Ian are gonna go for more competitions, and I really like this guy because he does know what's up and knows how to fish. And I know he can be a challenge, and it's fun to fish with people on your level or people that can challenge you. So, if anybody else is down, if you guys want to do, a bit of a competition style thing with cameras and for fun and for the sport, hit me up. Let's do it. Like I said, me and Yin are gonna pick up the coho thing next season, hopefully, and let's see if we can do a steelhead session. But that's not for sure. Okay, wow, 20 minutes. Ooh, too long. Too long.